You know, the world of finance is always changing. But what we're talking about today isn't just another app or some faster transactions. No, this is a fundamental shift in how a bank literally thinks. We're diving into a fascinating new era, an idea explored in a brand new book by Driss Temsamani called The Agentic Bank. Just listen to that quote for a second. It points to a future that isn't about better dashboards, but about a complete change in who or what is responsible. The question is no longer, hey, what's broken? It's what's already being done about it. To really get what that means, let's meet Lisa. So, yeah, this vision of a bank that doesn't just process information, but actually thinks, reasons, and acts on its own, that's the core idea from the book. So, let's do it. Let's step into that world for a minute. Okay, so what does this actually look like day to day? To make this real, let's spend a day with Lisa, a global head of liquidity, and see just how different her world has become. So check this out. Before Lisa even has her morning coffee, her agents are already working. One spots a liquidity imbalance over in Frankfurt. Now, instead of just pinging her with an alert, it identifies surplus funds in Zurich, calculates the best way to transfer them, and just does it. The entire thing is done and dusted in 30 seconds. Later that day, she's got a huge client meeting. Now, in the old world, she'd spend hours digging through CRMs, spreadsheets, and dashboards. Not anymore. Her client agent has already prepped the perfect brief. It pulled together everything from earnings calls to recent trades to predict exactly what the client's going to ask for next. And this is where it gets really powerful. The system goes from being reactive to being totally preventative. A compliance agent sees a transaction that looks about 72% similar to a known sanctions evasion scheme. It doesn't just flag it. It automatically puts a hold on it, drafts an incident report, and pulls in the right people. The problem is basically solved before it's even a problem. And what happens when the market goes sideways? Some unexpected event like a sovereign borrower getting downgraded. The response is immediate. Volatility agents instantly run thousands of simulations, projecting the impact across the portfolio and proposing exact hedging strategies, all in a matter of moments. We're talking about an institutional reflex at machine speed. Okay, so Lisa's world is obviously faster, smarter, and way less stressful. But what is the technology that makes all of this possible? It's time to look under the hood. At its heart is something called an agentic system. Now, this isn't just a fancier tool, it's a whole new kind of collaborator. It's a system that can perceive what's happening, reason about the best possible response, and then actually act on its own, all within boundaries that we set, of course. And this is probably the most important distinction to get our heads around. Think of it like this. Simple automation just follows rules. If this, then that. Traditional AI is a step up. It informs our decisions. But agents are different. They actively pursue outcomes. So an automation might flag a weird transaction. An agent decides if it should block it, escalate it, or clear it, all based on the bigger picture. This quote from the book just nails the whole idea perfectly. For the last decade, platforms gave us incredible scale, but humans were still the ones making all the key decisions. The agentic era embeds cognition into the systems themselves, creating an organization that doesn't just operate, it thinks. All right, this all sounds pretty amazing, but is it just some far-off, futuristic, nice-to-have? The argument in the Agentic Bank is a very loud no. This shift is actually a strategic necessity, and it's being driven by forces that are already here today. So why now? Why is this all coming to a head right at this moment? Well, it's because, for the very first time, we've hit a kind of perfect storm. The AI is finally smart enough, our infrastructure is programmable enough, and frankly, the pressures of the market are just too big to ignore. And there are really three core pressures forcing this change. First, the data explosion is just a fire hose. It's too much for any team of humans to process effectively. Second, customer expectations have totally shifted. Clients want proactive, instant results. And third, regulations are changing so fast that manual oversight just can't keep up. That gap between seeing a problem and actually acting on it has become a massive liability. So we get the what and the why, but how does an organization actually build this kind of capability? I mean, it's not like you can just go out and buy Agentic Bank in a box. It's about architecting a totally new kind of intelligence stack. The architecture really has four key layers. It all starts with the perception layer, which is just pulling in data from absolutely everywhere. Next comes the reasoning layer. That's the brain of the operation, interpreting all that data and deciding what to do.
The action layer is what gives the agents the power to actually execute those decisions. And then, wrapped around everything is the governance layer. And this is absolutely crucial. These are the guardrails that make sure every single action is safe, compliant, and trustworthy. Now we get to maybe the most important question of all. With all this intelligent action happening, what happens to the people? Does this just lead to mass replacement? Well, the book argues the exact opposite is true.
This quote completely reframes the goal. It's not about taking humans out of the loop, it's about giving them incredible leverage. The agents handle all that cognitive grunt work, the endless data sifting and pattern matching, which frees up people to focus on the work that machines just can't do. This is what the book calls the human dividend. It's all the value that gets unlocked when you free people from the burden of routine cognitive tasks. Suddenly, your relationship managers can spend more time actually advising clients. Your risk analysts can shift from just processing alerts to designing better ways to catch risk. It's about amplifying human judgment, not automating it away. And so, we're left with this one final challenge. For decades, the goal has been to build better systems, faster, more secure, more integrated. But the agentic era poses a brand new question. It's no longer enough for your institution to simply do things. The real question is, can it think?